the holiday. It's winter solstice, and it's still not snowing here in Minnesota. I was actually preparing to do this video like all day, and I got completely distracted. Well, not distracted. I did a video about Scientology, which took me a little bit longer than normal. It was enjoyable for me to cover something a little bit different. I love Leah Remini, so anytime I talk about her, it's great. And she was kind of dragging Tom Cruise, so anytime we can sort of talk about the destructiveness of Scientology, along with bringing awareness to the fact that Tom Cruise is getting a lot of attention right now for sort of cursing out his crew, but in reality, he does not believe in this whole pandemic, and he is above it and doesn't believe in illness. So the irony and the hypocrisy is very thick with that one. But let's talk about the Duggars. So we have actually 3 different topics for today. We're going to talk about Jill Duggar, or Jill Dillard, not being invited to the holiday parties. Joy Anna's husband's fraud case has an...
Why does she need to do this as a live, though? I thought she wasn't going to do lives.
Update. And Danielle Busby from Outdaughtered, I'm convinced, just does not care. And we'll talk about why. So before we get into all of that, let me tell you a little bit of funness in all of this, is that Derek Dillard's mom follows me. Yeah, she totally follows me on Twitter, and she actually sent me a tweet. I was having kind of a day last week where I was feeling a little bit down.
You know, this is quite weird because when she posted this on Twitter, I went and looked at, like everyone that had tweeted without a crystal ball, and there was no Kathy Dillard there. And then all of a sudden, the next day, after I point this out on my Twitter, that I couldn't find it when I was looking for it. The next day, it popped up. It was very weird. How does that shit work? And also, who calls their kid Derek Dillard? Fuck.
And she sent me a tweet saying that she was going to pray for me. Obviously, I am not a believer, but I'm also the kind of person that does believe in the power of good thoughts and prayers. And so if someone wants to pray for me, of course, I will tell them. I will accept those prayers. And I sent her a message and just said, thank you so much for your thoughts. And we started chatting in DMs. And Kathy is a really nice person. I was super, super, super surprised that she follows me, and more surprised that she kind of sent me that tweet, maybe, or sort of as this, I see you. She's a really nice woman. So definitely interested to hear more from her. And we were talking about just funny stories about tabloid stories. So I'm always interested in who actually follows me, but Kathy.
Did you talk to Kathy about how you interviewed Derek? How you spoke to him? Not how the interview was just conducted over an email? I don't know. Did you mention that?
Kathy Dillard is one of my followers these days. So hello, Kathy. Thank you for following. Okay. So Joy Anna, so a couple weeks ago, or November, there was this big event at the Duggars. They had the Fall Family Festival, right? They had this they had painting pumpkins, and they had a slingshot, and they did rides around, hay rides, and there was a pie eating contest, and there was so much that was going on, and there was a lot of questions about, one, do they just literally not care that there's a global pandemic going on and they don't care about social distancing? 2, why is it that Derek must have told her about me? I'm guessing. Yeah, because I've talked to Derek before, and briefly to Jill, nothing serious, but so it got some people thinking, are they just purposely leaving out Jill and Derek? Are they just not inviting Jill and Derek? What's going on with this Jill and Derek thing? Is there a question about, Are they just not being invited? Are they just deciding not to go? Because that's always been kind of the question, is like, well, maybe they're not going. Like, literally, maybe they're just deciding not to go, right? Well, somebody actually asked on Twitter, and I'll show you. Derek is actually pretty good about responding. Sometimes he responds to tweets that are like really older, a little bit older, but this one he actually responded to within a couple days. And he said, happy Thanksgiving. Just wondering where you were, if you were invited to the fall festival at the Duggar house. It's so strange to not see.
I just quickly wanted to say, sorry, I've been making my breakfast and making a bit of a noise, but also, so Derek replied to this tweet only a few days later, but did anyone watch Ball of Wax's video? I mean, oh, hey, she's awesome. She mentioned that how Katie emailed Derek in January of 2020, and it wasn't until like March of 2020 that she actually got a reply. You know, priorities. You get back to the people you care about most.
You and all the pics and videos. And he said, thank you. Happy belated Thanksgiving to you too. No, we were not invited or told about it. And she said, I'm so sorry to hear that. Your family deserves better than that. So imagine you're like just bebopping away through the day, and then your sister Jessa uploads a video and it's like, surprise, the entire family is over at mom and dad's house. Everyone is playing, everyone's having a blast, but you're not invited, Jill. Now, I know that there's a rift between Jill and the Duggars, but I find this interesting because the Duggars were like so quick to come out to People magazine and be like, we are so eager to come to reunification, and we hope that we can restore full healing in our relationship with Jill. We pray for reconciliation. So one would think that if you're praying for reconciliation, you would extend an olive branch and be like, hey, Jill, we're going to have this big event over at our house, and we'd love you to come. But Jill didn't even get an invite. So this rift obviously is deeper than the Duggars would want you to believe. Obviously, they're not on good terms. There was also a wreath making event, which also she was not invited to. Now, in fairness,
how does Katie know this for sure? You know, like, she is telling us she knows for sure, but where's the proof on this?
They could have been filming, and she didn't just they didn't invite her because she wouldn't have been filming. But that doesn't even make sense because Josh and Anna were there, and Josh can't be on camera. So even if they were filming, Josh was there. So that doesn't hold weight, right? If Josh is...
Oh, Katie, look. Someone in the chat, Mrs. Smith, she just said Jessa was promoting HelloFresh today. I was shocked. Wow, even Jessa is getting sponsored by HelloFresh, Katie. Does that rub a little bit of sore into you?
There, then theoretically Jill could be there. They would just not film her. But instead, Derek says, nope, we just were not invited. And, maybe she doesn't even care. Maybe it doesn't bother her, whatever. I don't know. I know that Derek during the season did make a mention that they had this whole family event. And they hold that whole family Zoom call for Counting On. And Derek made a comment during Counting On when that episode came up. It's like, how do you have a family Zoom call and you don't include one of your daughters? Like, the hypocrisy. So you mean the family that's on TV, not the family that you actually have. So it sounds like not only are they just not inviting Jill to things, they're just not even interested, maybe. I mean, and then here's the hard part that I would feel like I would have trouble with if I were Jill. Now, Jill she spends a lot of time with Kathy Dillard and Derek's stepfather, because if you don't know this, Derek's dad did pass away.
If you don't know this, Katie knows this. She likes to pretend she knows this.
actually, Kathy actually told me this today. She was 50 when he passed away. So I'm not sure when that was. I know that Derek had already like graduated high school, I believe, when his dad passed, I believe. So,
I'm surprised that she hasn't, or that she doesn't know how old Kathy is.
But yeah, he passed away when he was relatively young. She's remarried now, and they spend a lot of time with Kathy and stepdad. And the interesting thing too is that they practice like social distancing. Jill and Derek are literally the only ones in the Duggar family that actually are taking this pandemic seriously. They are constantly wearing masks.
Again, how do you know this, Katie? Where is the proof? Show us the proof that they are not wearing masks.
Don't go to events that have more than 10 people. They are literally like abiding by the rules. And the rest of the Duggars are just like over there like IDGAF. So he's not on TV, but he is a boy, so there's no rules. This is true. Jessa was promoting HelloFresh today. I was shocked. Good for her. We love HelloFresh.
Needed that drink, didn't you? Pretty fast. Must have hit the gut, you know? A kick to the gut, that would have been.
Okay. And I don't have a sponsorship, so don't worry about it. But
we know. That's the whole point. That's why it's funny.
So yeah, they had their ugly sweater party, which again, I did a video about today. I mean, like, who needs a pandemic, right? Nobody's actually cares when you're the Duggars. Like, why would they care? And they did an ugly sweater party, and then this is a sweater vest, and John won. Like, that's not even a Christmas sweater. Like, he just bought an ugly sweater. And
oh my God. It's exactly what the whole thing is about. Stop being a Karen and putting rules on a fun holiday game, you stupid bitch.
For it. Does someone want to tell the Duggars that it's actually ugly Christmas sweater and not just ugly sweater? Okay. Let me see. So there was that. Now on to the next phase of this story. So remember about, I don't even know, a year ago? Not even a year ago. I can't even remember. It was...
How are we supposed to remember when you can't remember? I mean, fuck. The last month or so has felt like a year. So, yeah, I can remember a year ago. I'm not an alcoholic.
Not that long ago that there was a lawsuit that happened with Joy Anna's husband, Austin Forsyth. So Austin had apparently bought this house and flipped it. And when he flipped it, there was something to do with a port sewer. So basically what happened is the owner of the...
I had food in my mouth and I really wanted to comment. Is his last name Forsyth? For real? What the hell? These people have some fucking cool names.
So Austin sells the property. He sells it as is. He says that he hasn't done any specific work to that, didn't need a permit for it, something like that. And the new owner says that...
Something like that.
That when they moved into the property, they noticed that the sewer had been placed in a not correct, or the sump pump or septic system, the septic system had been...
What was that?
Placed incorrectly, and their yard smelled like turds, basically. Stinky water in...
Basically. My God, she's a shit reporter.
The yard, and they said it was very unpleasant. They found out later that they had placed the wrong kind of system in the ground, and they would have to get a different system because of...
This sounds a lot like Janelle and UBT on the land.
The kind of soil that they had, and it was going to cost like tens of thousands of dollars for this repair. And
she almost said hundreds of thousands, but you know, that's too much of an exaggeration that we would all call her up on.
They sued Austin, basically saying that Austin did not disclose to them that they did this work, or he did not take out a permit, something to do with that. And they were wanting fraud. They wanted they wanted like basically Austin to take the house back or have him pay for the sewer. And Austin obviously denied everything. He had all of the documents, which he said were sold as is. And he also said that, so the argument from the buyer was that they did not take out the proper permits, to which Austin said, I did not need permits for this specific job. It was not required. And so the owners in this case.
My God, the shit that she reports on is absolute boring crap. Who fucking cares, man? Who cares about this?
That purchased from Austin had requested a summary judgment, which basically is a request to the court that says, based on everything that we've told you, based on everything that you know, because this owner did not do their due diligence, we would request that you just order in our favor. And
has she not learnt not to dig into people's financials? Katie, what the hell are you doing, man?
They basically said no dice. So Austin actually got a partial win in court. This actually happened a couple of days ago. And it says the court, having considered the pleadings, motions, responses, replies brought about by the plaintiff's motion for partial summary judgment, and upon agreement of the counsel and for good cause shown, said motion should be denied. It is hereby ordered, adjudged, and decreed. So the judge denied the summary motion, meaning that that he still wants to, that Austin's still not out of the woods. Like, it's just that they're going to go to trial. So he's like, we're not going to give you the money yet. We really need to prove this before we actually give money to you. Now, their specific thing was like, well, he didn't get the proper permits. He was required to it. So therefore, we don't even have to sue him. You should just order that he pays us. And the judge said no. So he's like won a small victory, but he still has to go to trial, and that's scheduled for later in 2021. Now, I'm still unclear about the whole issue with the house.
Do you reckon she paid for those reports? Did she pay for that information? Is she still paying for information online? This is just, like, fucking lawyers are watching you, bitch. Do you not understand? There might be another lawsuit coming from the Duggar camp. No one is watching this with stupid eyes.
Don't know. It was really unclear as to whether or not Austin even was the person that placed that septic system, or if it was placed after the fact, and if the argument was that Austin saying, I didn't need a permit because I didn't do the work. And
or
he said
should I go back to
some
top?
lines, but I don't know that he actually put in a brand new septic system. So there's that. It'll be a mess for sure. Austin does do home flipping and construction for his businesses, but he is also not a licensed contractor. His father has a licensed contracting company, but Austin does not.
Put your finger down.
So, and if you remember, Austin and Joy recently got a home from the Duggars, which they got for like $10, and they completely rehabbed and remodeled, and they've turned it into
You got your mother's house for like less than what it was, and then you ended up selling it for less than what you brought it for, so you didn't even make money. And then you brought this house with funds that you scammed people off Facebook for.
Actually a beautiful home. So that is what is going on with Joy in Austin. I can't say that I'm really surprised. Unless there's like a super compelling case, I would say most judges would prefer that you actually like not do a summary judgment, and they have to, you know
what? That top looks like an old beach towel from like the 70s or something. Why does she not know what color combos go with her? I don't think she understands that she has cool toned skin. She still thinks that she's, tanned.
Prove their case before they actually award.
You know why you're not tanned, Katie? Because you never leave the house. You look so white and sickly.
someone, and so I'm guessing that the judge wants to see more evidence of all of this going on. So I'm wondering,
Jessie Bear, it's not Streamlabs acting up. It's not YouTube acting up. It's Katie's Wi-Fi. This only happens with Katie. Jessie Bear, stop sticking up for her. How about telling her? It's only your internet, you know? Oh, that's right. You don't want to lose your job because you're employed. But, Jessie Bear, guess what? On the lawsuit, Katie says that she has no employees. So she's committed perjury. You're involved in this, so good luck.
what is that? It says it's rarely a nice, it is a really nice home. They've done really good work into that home. You know, Austin and Joy, if nothing, are extremely, Austin's really talented, if nothing else.
Pinchy. God, she's got like even the triangle preferred zone of pinchy.
He does a really good job with construction. And Joy, she works with Austin, which is kind of cool. Like, she likes to work and she likes to be hands-on with him. Some people are critics and they just say that, you know, Austin works Joy too hard, to which I'm like, I don't know, if Joy likes to work and wants to work and that's what she likes to do and they like.
Are the Duggars influencers? I'm scratching my head.
To be together, who cares? I think they both enjoy work and I think they both will have a successful life off of Counting On. They have their own YouTube channel. Joy does her own promotions on her Instagram accounts. I think that Joy...
For HelloFresh, which she earns money from because she gets a, you know, sponsorship. Actually, was that Jessa? I'm pretty sure Joy wouldn't be far behind. They'll probably be earning money off HelloFresh pretty soon, Katie. While you'll still be wondering what the hell bolognese is.
Long term has the opportunity and the ability to do good things. I love Joy and Austin together. I do too. I actually think, you know, there was a lot of questions in the very beginning of their relationship on whether or not Joy and Austin had a relationship in which people were like, oh, Austin scares me. But I don't know. Watching the birth special and seeing how tender and like how loving he was and just how like he was there for her and very like, he was like a really good partner and a really good...
He was there for her and like really like... Well, I know I say like a lot, but Jesus, I'm not a reporter, am I?
Spouse, like the kind of guy that you would want to have at your birth. So seeing that side of him, I was like, I don't know. I don't know if I see the criticism that people say about him. People are always like, I think he's scary. I just think he's I think he's probably one of those more quiet guys. And I also think that he probably is of the group that maybe doesn't want to be as involved with the Duggar clan. So who knows? Now, as we move on to the next topic, this isn't going to be a super long live stream because, you know,
every live stream you do is fucking super long. So, I wonder if Emily's on at the moment.
Okay. So I was looking at the Busbys, and we were talking about this, I don't know, a couple weeks ago.
Now her microphone's fucked.
Now, the Busbys are in Texas, and if you pay attention at all to what's going on in the world, you know that it's like a massive hotspot, especially like down in Houston where they're located. There has been tons of stories about, you know, the family or the hospitals being at capacity and there being so much, you know, problems with, you know, like...
How can she stumble through this? She's been saying the same thing since COVID started, so why is she stumbling through it?
Restrictions, making sure that people are, you know, staying home. And the Busbys are just like, they don't care. They're not abiding by anything. They're out.
Is this the same story as the Duggars, but she's just replaced the last names? Like Duggars and Bates? No, what are these ones? The ones, are these outdoored?
Oh, they're not wearing masks. And it's not going unnoticed at all by their fans, mostly because people feel...
It's not going unnoticed by their fans. Katie's a fan. She is voicing her opinion. Is she? I don't know.
Like they are being irresponsible, and that they are like, come on, like, why are you doing this? Why are you out? Why are you like acting like this is no big deal? When the truth of the matter is you are like partying at a rock concert and you're out with your friends and you're not wearing a mask. So,
do you party when you go to a rock concert? It's so weird that she referred to it as a rock concert. Isn't she meant to be into music? I don't think I've ever called anything a concert. I just call them gigs, you know?
people were just like, I just don't understand. And some of you obviously don't care about others' safety. And they said, quit thinking it's the government. Good grief. You've learned nothing in the last not many months. So people like fight, and obviously like people are dying and sick. You're all about going to bars and partying. Read the room, country. You're part of the problem, not the solution, sadly. And this is why the USA has thousands of dying every single day. I wish I could go out with my friends here in PA. Seems like a whole different world there. Do you even think before you do these social things, let alone post them? And she posts these kinds
It's Katie.
of things all the time. Here in Belgium, we're in lockdown. What happened to social distancing? Could never hang like that where I live. I'm confused. Why are you posting so many outings with your family and friends unmasked? And so there wasn't just that one. There was also another one of them.
God, get it together. Get your order of your shit together.
They also went and did they went to a craft place with the girls, and none of them, they were like doing presents or doing something like where they were like at one of those places where you like sit at a table and you are making crafts together, and all of the girls were with them. It was Adam and her, and none of them were wearing masks. And it was like people were just leaving comment after comment after comment, and they don't respond really at all when they get these kinds of comments from fans. So I don't really think that I don't know if they just don't care, but it is interesting how, there are some people that seemingly just...
Is it interesting though?
Do not care, are not bothered, and are unaware, or even it doesn't seem to matter to them that they have this huge platform and they are basically going out in life like there's no issues. It's kind of like the Duggars. And I guess I should...
It's kind of like this chick on YouTube. Oh, what's her name? She has this channel called Without a Basketball. No. It's Without a Crystal Ball. Yeah, I think her name's Katie Joy. Yeah, she's been going out a lot. Like, instead of just ordering makeup online, this chick's actually been going into Sephora and into Ulta. When she had that boil on her head, she went into Sephora, touching stuff, Yeah, so who is she talking about? Because she should be talking about this chick Without a Basketball. Oh, fuck. I mean, Without a Crystal Ball. It's hard. It's a hard name.
I'd be surprised with the Busbys, but I guess I would have thought a little bit more of the Busbys, because even though they are still like in that sort of evangelical world, I thought they would have taken this a little bit more seriously, especially because the girls were all preemies. But I don't know. I don't understand when people are doing this kind of stuff, especially that Texas is a red zone right now. So it's, that's just me. But this is the overall...
That's just you, right? That is just you in a nutshell.
The fans just leaving so many comments. It's his fun activity today over at the Board Brush League City. We made ornaments. Okay, so they were in an ornament place making ornaments with the girls, and literally
That's still
none
craft.
of the girls were wearing masks. Obviously, you can see the very first comment there was a mask.
Is she doing pinchy pinchy? Oh, she's cliffhanging with the pinchy.
So, that's for Mariah.
Hey, wasn't
okay, so my question here is that
the lobster on the Simpsons movie, was that called pinchy? I don't know. Looks like the shape and everything.
If you had this kind of
Oh, it's all
platform, do you think
red.
there's a level of responsibility for people that have these kinds of platforms to make sure that what they're saying, what they're doing, and what they're posting is
Guys, that t-shirt is awful.
in a way like, I don't know, not so like thumbing their nose at what's going on? There's, on the one breath, it's like
We don't know. Can you tell us? Oh my God, does she? I say, do you know a lot? Oh my God, guys, I'm really concerned. Am I turning into KJ? Like, have I covered her too much that she's in my head? Or has she like been watching me and copying me and now I'm seeing it and I'm just like, this is just too full circle. Fuck.
starting to just be like, I don't know if I even like I'm surprised anymore, because every time I go onto Danielle or Adam's page, they're constantly out doing things. Debbie says this is sick.
Oh, what was on her hand?
In my opinion, as influencers, they should not do these things. This is my thing, is that when you have a platform that has X amount of millions of people that are following you, I feel as though there is a response.
Her neck is very tight right now. She really needs a massage, a stress relief massage, but she probably cannot afford it. I don't know if Toad would put in that much work.
Responsibility to set the right example, which they have a lot of younger fans because of the fact that they have their young daughters on the show, and a lot of young fans looking at them and being like, oh, well, if they don't take it seriously, I don't have to take it seriously. I know people don't sign on for these shows to be role models, but at the end of the day, they do become role models. And the fact that they're using their platforms to, sell things, like Danielle is constantly using her platform for her different MLM products or whatever it is, her swipe ups. So you start to wonder, like, is it just I don't care, or I don't believe it, or I don't know. Do you think they think they are TV stars so they don't care? I really don't know about that, Maria. That's a good question. I'm of the belief that they are more of the sect of the population that truly believes that we just need to get back to work. We need to get out there, and it's not that big of a deal, and that's unfortunate because it is a big deal. And unfortunately, it is still completely out of control. And a lot of us this year are not going to be able to spend time with our friends, family, or anything. And so I think there's...
Well, I don't want to spend time with my friends, family. Maybe my friends and family, but yeah, not my friends, family. Just, putting that out there.
This extra layer of salt to the wound, especially for people who feel like they are following.
I hate how she talks in cliches. When you're a journalist or when you're a writer, one of the first things you're taught is to not write in cliches. Her whole fucking life is a cliche. Everything that comes out of her mouth is a cliche.
Rules is they're like, well, why? I followed the rules. Why don't you? Right? So next is, and finally.
Exactly. Why don't you, Karen?
Finally, and this was not in the title, but I had a little addition here, is that Mariah and her boyfriend Max are actually together. So remember how we said that they split up on one of the last episodes of the Welcome to Plathville? Well, on last week's episode, they actually got back together. So they made the decision to get back together. Max went over to the Plaths and met them and was like toe to toe with Kim Plath. And they had their first kiss and apparently are still kissing to this day. It was funny because there was a cute little...
I bet it wasn't as awkward as your kissing moment with Toad. I bet it was, full of emotion and actual love and genuinity. You might be not used to seeing this, so let's see what you got to say.
Video that was shared on her Instagram stories that was said like, oh, since their first kiss, they haven't stopped kissing. And then it panned to the two of them sort of kissing on a couch.
Oh, a little sniffle. That's what you could have had, you know, if you actually cared.
And then on this, it just says, "You're the only hand in my back pocket. If you ever left, I'd be psychotic." Maroon 5. Maybe some of y'all saw it coming. Maybe it shocked you like it did me, but I can now properly introduce you to my boyfriend, best friend. Yes, he can be both of those at the same time, and my partner in crime, Max.
When she reads out loud, it's almost she's just reading the words. She's not actually understanding what they say. So that's why when she reads, it doesn't flow. I don't understand how she is a presenter or whatever she is.
And then he just said, "What a shock, kidding, I love you." And then they had their photo there too. So
look at that genuine love. Look at that. Sorry, Katie.
Young. I think he's like 3 years older. I think she's.
Does that matter? I mean, Toad is what? 10 years older than you? Isn't he 52? Not that that matters, but why does pointing out the age difference here matter so much that you have to include it?
18 and he might be 21, but that's not like massive. That's like not a massively huge age difference. Some people were like shocked that he was 20 and she was 17 and they were dating, but I don't know. That didn't seem like.
You would have been. I mean, it looks like on your face that you would have had something to say, but because, you know, the Plaths have called you out and they got issues with you, you know, you got to play it nice. You got to try back in the good books with them. I think they're quite over you, Katie.
I think when they met, she was almost 18, so I don't know.
So you're going to let it go, you know? That's okay. I'll let this one go, guys. But, you know, I have words if it was any other way.
Is he tall? I don't know. I can't tell if he's tall or if she's short, or I don't really know. But
you don't really know much because you don't really look. You can't look. Oh, I feel sorry that I paused her in this fashion, but that's a bloomin' good pause. Hey, crystal ball over there in the right. Katie, you're no longer without a crystal ball, because if it's in the background, I really think you should say, "I found my crystal ball." Just saying, like maybe you could just for a fun break the rules. Maybe not though, because you are a rule setter.
They seem happy, and that's the good thing. And Mariah has a boyfriend, so yay! I haven't.
That was a weird fist.
I'm still catching up on last week's episode still with Welcome to Plathville, and I haven't been doing a ton of the replays just because, I don't know, the season has been kind of all over the place, and I haven't really been like totally loving it. I'm just like, I don't know. The whole recaps can be hit or miss, but Mariah is with Max, and she and Max are kissing and cute.
Pinchy. Oh my God. Your skin is going to be so saggy on your neck if you continue to do pinchy.
So that's what we have for tonight. And I hope you guys enjoyed this. Now, if you have not yet checked out my other video,
she's going hard.
I did a video about Scientology earlier today, and that was on.
It's so red.
Tom Cruise and his sort of rant about protocols with his movie, and Leah Remini kind of calling him out and being like, he is such an utter hypocrite. This is ridiculously stupid, and he is not.
Katie, over the holidays, can you paint your walls? I really don't like that green. Like, I feel like 2021, we really just need a fresh coat, a white coat. It will help with your skin tone so much.
He's full of crap, which I'm always like good for a Leah drag. And some of you had been asking for some more Scientology content, so I'll be weeding.
I don't think people were asking for more Scientology stuff. You always say this. You always say subscribers have been messaging me. They want more of this on stuff that you want to talk about. Why don't you just say, I'm going to talk more about Scientology because that's what I want to talk about? Because if when you start talking about Scientology and people give you shit, you can go, well, my subs wanted me to talk about it. That's the only reason you're bringing them up, you know? In case it all goes downhill, you got someone to blame, not yourself. Yeah.
That in more frequently just because I really like Leah and I really like Mike, and I feel like there's a lot to.
And on Twitter, she posted, oh, I followed Leah Remini since she was on Save to the Bell. Bullshit. Bullshit. No one even knew she was on. Well, I didn't know she was on Saved by the Bell. I watched her on King of Queens, and I'm not going to sit there and pretend that I'm the biggest Leah Remini fan because I looked up on Wikipedia that she was actually on Saved by the Bell. So I'm going to bring that up to my viewers because, that's going to set in stone that I really am a Leah Remini fan, better than most of everyone here because I was into her before she was on King of Queens,
Talk about, and I feel like Leah does so much talking that there's always something to talk about with it.
She has so much substance, which is something that you lack.
So that's what we have for now. It is Happy Winter Solstice.
Or is it Happy Illuminati Day because you just did your little, thing? Now you're doing, I don't know, duck face thing. Quack,
if
quack.
you guys have comments, questions, or concerns, make sure you leave those below. And I will be back later with more. Thanks, guys.
Oh, did you see how she was scratching her thumb with her nail? She just can't. She always has to be picking at something.
Guys?
I'm kind of really missing that peace sign. I'm not into the wave. 5-finger wave. It's so 5-year-old child. I prefer, the Queen wave. That's my wave of choice. Thank you. Just turning it. I'm doing it right now. Thank you.